I was an overachiever for as long as I could remember growing up. I would sign up for too many activities. I would beat myself up if I didn't get 100% on like a spelling test when I was a child. I would cry if I ever got scolded by a teacher. Everything in my life was focused on the people around me and what they thought of me. And I think that through therapy and through this journey, it's been really, really beautiful to realize that when I show up as me, like unfiltered me, not wearing makeup me, and just do what is in my heart instead of in my head, good things can happen.
I'm Jessica Vallant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Today, we are talking with literally one of my favorite people on the planet, Lauren Moore. So I am going to read her bio to you because it's amazing, but I have to tell you how we first met. So Lauren actually was a part of a brand company that I was working with to help rebrand years ago. So we met through that capacity, and I just felt immediately drawn to her kindness, her interests. There's so many things I felt like we could just talk for hours and relate on so many levels. And then, so I was watching her in real time on social media. We hadn't met in person yet. I was watching her on social media, and I saw her start this little TikTok account called Book Huddle, where she was talking about books. And I say little at the time because it was, and she was just using her passion to talk about books, completely separate from her job. Within what feels like a few months of that first post, she exploded, and I was able to watch in real time as she built this amazing community online of people who love to read, people who love books, including myself. I go to Lauren for almost all of my book recommendations at this point, asking her, what should I read next? Her community is some of the strongest community that I have seen when it comes to online space. And then meeting people in real life, you'll hear how she has built all of that. And I wanted to bring her on here to talk about kind of that transition on what does it look like to go from a job that you really like, that pays the bills, that you're really good at, that you've done for years, moving into a passion project and having that become your job. So we talk about that, and then we lead into just amazing kind of conversations around imposter syndrome, how we feel, to be online, to be a public persona, what it feels like when we get those emails and messages that are criticizing. So many things that I think many of you will be able to relate to. So I really am so excited about this, not to mention the fact that we talk about books. And I know at this point from how many messages you all have sent me that you love books as much as I do. So I know you're going to love this conversation. Let me tell you a little more about Lauren. Lauren Moore is the founder of Book Huddle, a community of 400,000 plus readers that helps people find new books and new friends through book recommendations, a virtual book club, and reading retreats that literally sell out in minutes. Her work has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, the Toronto Star, BuzzFeed, and the Washington Post. Before launching Book Huddle, Lauren spent over a decade as a content strategist, helping more than 350 brands, including my own, grow by 12 million followers combined. Her brand experience includes MTV, Campbell's, VCA Animal Hospitals, Subaru, Ivy Fertility, a shark on Shark Tank, and members of Barack Obama's White House staff. She is currently writing her debut fantasy novel. I am truly honored to bring you this conversation with my dear friend, Lauren Moore. So everybody, we are starting an interview I'm so excited about. Lauren and I were just talking for a few minutes, and pretty much I could just talk for an hour and then realized I needed to hit record. So you guys know from the introduction a little bit about Lauren, but I'm just going to let her jump right in. Tell us everything, or at least tell us what you want us to know about you before we get into our questions.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Jessica. I know we've known each other for years now, And I've had the honor of working with you. And I just want to say, first of all, you're genuinely one of my favorite people ever.
I feel
Favorite people I've ever worked with,
the
favorite human beings on the planet. And you just bring so much warmth and
same.
goodness and sunshine to this world. And so I'm very honored to be here.
Oh, thank you.
But first, I guess with me, so boy, where do I begin? I guess I guess maybe starting off with talking about how I know you, and then I can shift gears and talk about what I'm doing now. But for over a decade, I worked as a content strategist where I would help people and companies grow online and find their voice and figure out their branding and their content. And it was really, really rewarding to really get a front row seat to helping people make their dreams come true. I mean, you came to like us with a really, really big audience already, and you just wanted some assistance on the visual side of things. But, I've helped people across all industries. And before that, worked at a bunch of different corporations. And it was always just really fun kind of solving the puzzle of how to figure out who you are as a brand, grow a community, and then build a business around it. So in 2022, I was getting a lot of questions from clients about TikTok, and I was spending
Including
some
me.
time,
Sorry, everybody. I have to say,
including you.
Lauren was like, get on TikTok. I'm like, no, I can't do that. She kept saying, get on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't, you have to tell me how. I literally don't know how.
I thought the same thing too. When clients were asking me about TikTok, I was like, the dance app? Like, really? But I didn't understand that TikTok was an incredible place to connect with other people, particularly around the pandemic. It really brought a sense of community and connection to millions upon millions of people. And it was a great place to consume content. So I started spending some time in the app and really liked it for a few months, just trying to understand how it worked. And our friend Phil, who I worked with brand strategy, was like, well, if you love TikTok so much, why don't you just start posting on it? And I was like, okay, I guess it sort of feels anonymous. I don't know. And I'd always been behind the scenes. Like for over a decade, I could see the potential in others, and it was just so clear to me what their superpower was and how they should show up online and what made them special. I could never see that for myself. I still can't really see it for myself. It's like a huge, confidence issue for me. But I started posting, and I wanted to post about books because I'm an avid reader, always have been. I have an English degree, and I just love reading, and I didn't want to post about work things after a long day. And it quickly took off. I quickly started growing a community. And flash forward to today, so about almost 3 years from the very, very first TikTok that I posted. Book Huddle is now a community of over 400,000 readers. We've hosted 11 reading retreats in the past 17 months for over 500 people. And this is my full-time job, which is
Yeah.
so bananas. I can't even, every time I say it out loud, I'm like, wait, is this the moment my brain is broken and I'm hallucinating? Like, am I making this up?
And I have to say, it's one of my favorite stories, I think, because I was watching it in real time. So this is back, 2022, like you said, 23. And so you posted and I watched it because I was on TikTok because you made me. So I was just watching yours, and you had something about, wouldn't it be so cool if there was a reading retreat, such thing as a reading retreat where we just got together for a weekend and we could read the same book and talk about it and sit in cozy corners, and drink our
Yeah.
coffee and tea. And I remember you posted that, and I want you to tell this story because it's so amazing.
Yeah, that was basically it. I made a promise to myself when I first started posting on TikTok that I was going to post twice a day no matter what. And I was also I kind of put a time restraint on myself where I said I want to create pieces of content that take me no more than 5 minutes, because I was working a really busy job. Like I think we would have like 30 clients that were really, really involved at once. And I was working all the time as it was. And I just wanted to find a way to make it really, really effortless for me. And I wanted it to remain fun. And what I didn't realize at the time was by putting those constraints on myself and also holding myself accountable, it forced me to distill and find my most authentic voice ever and figure out easiest way with the least amount of resistance to create content that did well. That was really what was great about that. So as part of my, twice a day, no more than 5 minutes thing, I was, racking my brain wondering, okay, what do I post today? And then I thought like, oh, it would be fun to go to a nice cozy place and have good food and talk about a book and go to bed at a reasonable hour. Maybe I'll post this and I'll put the soundtrack of Pride and Prejudice along with the video and see how it goes. Well, I did not expect it to go viral. If I'd known it was going to go viral, I probably would have like worn makeup and done my hair or something. Maybe worn a bra. I don't know. But anyway, so it went viral, and it was really unbelievable because within 30 minutes of posting, I got tons and tons of comments being like, oh my gosh, I want this. Please create this. Tell me you're going to do this. Can I give you my credit card info? Bananas. And so I put together a survey really, really quickly. That was about 30 questions long to ask people in more detail what they wanted. Because I've never done event planning before, but I could sense there was something really, really special and needed here with the reception. And so the survey was absurdly detailed. It was a way to also see how serious people were, because if they could do a 30-question survey, like maybe they'd be actually interested in getting retreat tickets. And so anyway, it was, I think, 2,400 people ended up filling out this survey, which was bananas, telling me where they wanted it, where they were from. By filling it out, they were automatically put onto a mailing list where I could keep them updated, how much they wanted to pay, if they wanted to share a room, how long it would be, like all those kinds of questions. And it made my life very easy because I could just look at the data of what people wanted and figure out how to serve something that the majority wanted. And then from there, I found a venue, and that was kind of checked off all of their boxes, but also mine. I launched a Patreon where, again, I wanted to see just how serious people were about getting tickets, because event deposits are no joke, especially when you live in Canada like me and the venues in the US. The dollar is not favorable. And so before signing this big, scary contract, I created a Patreon, and my goal was to sell 30 tickets. That was my goal. And I think that was, break even and then a little and then some. And so 90 people signed up for the Patreon to get early access to the reading retreat tickets. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I think I can increase it to 40 people. And it just kind of went from there. The first one sold out really quickly, I think within 12 hours of going public. A month later, I put another retreat up. That one sold out. And then now it's absolutely wild, but our retreats will usually sell out in a couple of minutes.
They do.
Like
They do.
It's unbelievable. I'm so grateful. And more than anything, I think one thing that I particularly value about the retreats that I find so rewarding is that people, particularly women, in their 30s and 40s, I think that they're really, really lonely right now, especially if they're introverted. And I do my best to make the events as welcoming and as inclusive as possible, and let people know that this is a place where I want you to leave with your cup more filled than when you came. And I want you to know this is a safe place to share your opinions, and you will be welcome for being just who you are. And people make lifelong friends. 10 people have gotten the Book Huddle logo tattooed.
I've seen that.
Just bananas.
I mean, it's so amazing. And there's so many things I want to dive into. But since you're talking about community, that was a big piece, actually. I would love to know, just more deep dive into that. If you kind of just your insight, coming from someone who has done events. We were just talking about this before we hit record, that the events I've done in person and the work I've done in person, like so amazingly valuable, sacred work. And then also realizing, okay, there's so much we can do online now. And everything that I do online, I try to actually go back and kind of think, okay, what have I done in person? How can I make my online work resemble that in-person relationship as closely as possible? Because it isn't always easy, excuse me, through a screen. But yet this is how we do work now. We can reach people from all over the world. So how do you have some insight into that balance, or how you kind of use your voice to bridge that gap between, yes, I do so much online, but then also here's this kind of in-person option we have as well.
Yes, and I'll say that I think you do an amazing job of that first, Jessica. Like I think to me the in-person experience and the online experience of you are completely aligned. And that's really what I aim for as well with my online presence with Book Huddle.
Mhm.
I read a book about 6 months ago that was pretty game changing for me called Traction by Gino Wickman.
Okay.
It's meant for businesses that have 10 employees or more, but I found it just helpful as a business of one with a team of
Mhm.
contractors to be able to understand where I want to go with this and to make sure that my time and my energy is going into what's most aligned with the type of organization that I want to create. And one of the very, very first exercises that you do as part of the traction formula, I guess, or the traction method is you distill your values down. And so for me, I've got my 6 values and I do whatever I can to embody those values in everything that I do. And I think that it's going pretty well. Like my number one value, number one is inclusion. I think that, the internet can be a pretty nasty and scary place. I've been on the dark side of it and it's been pretty brutal. And I want this community to really be a force for good. As part of my value of inclusion, I really, really try to lift authors from marginalized communities. That's really, really important to me. And over 30% of the books that are featured on my book club and in my content are by authors who are BIPOC or queer. And so that's something that I'm really, really intentional about and that I'm never going to change on. The other thing is joy. That's something that's really important to me too. I want to have really, really good feelings about Book Huddle, and I want people to feel that as well. So I don't post critical reviews of books. There are lots of books I read that I don't like. There are lots of books I read that DNF. I did not finish, but I don't post about them because I think that there's a reader for every book out there, and I don't want my opinion and my unique experience to dissuade someone from picking up their potential favorite book.
Yeah.
So I focus only on books that I give like a 4-star rating or higher, or that I think have a message or a perspective that's really, really important that like needs to be seen by more
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of my driving factors for everything that I
Yeah.
do.
And I think that, and you're absolutely right, that can come across if you use your unique voice and your true voice, then that will come across whether it's online or in person. And just watching you, so everybody listening, so go follow Lauren. We'll have all the links below
You're so sweet.
on Instagram. So Lauren is out there, I'm not kidding, multiple times a day telling us what to read. And I can't even tell you how much I adore. I mean, half of the good books I read over the last year, just because I'm like, Lauren told me to read it. So I'm going to go read
Really?
it. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You're
My
the
number
best.
one favorite, Love Song for Ricky Wilde,
Oh, yeah.
but came from you. I would not have found that book. And it is probably my number one favorite of the past year. So I would love to know. And so, sorry, for those of you listening, yes, Lauren is out there giving book recommendations, and then she has amazing in person retreats. And then I know you have a community too. And by the way, this will be at the end, but Lauren has given us an amazing code. Thank you, that you guys can get a discount on her membership too, which includes monthly calls, right? It's basically a book club that you can be
Yeah.
part of.
Yeah.
And so tell us, and I know you talk about this online, but I think people would love to know from someone who is running not only a book club, I mean, you are running a business around books. How do you find time to read books? How do you choose what to read? And how do you fit that into, okay, this is pleasure, but this is also my job?
It's been a very interesting adjustment going from reading for pleasure to reading for content, which is, I mean, it's such a champagne problem. Like this is it's like amazing. It's a dream. But I've had to become really, really intentional with my time and also really clear on my goals and find a way to kind of bridge what I love with what I do in a way that makes everyone happy. So, first things first, my book club focuses on books that have been out for anywhere from roughly 3 to 6 months. So they're books that are new and what I believe are really buzzing or have potential to take off and become bestsellers. And so, with that in mind, when I'm reading books, I generally will look for a certain publishing window.
Mhm.
One of the greatest gifts of running Book Huddle that I did not ever expect is that I've been starting to get advanced books before they're even out yet, which is the freaking coolest thing in the world. It's,
Awesome.
it's so exciting. And so I really will choose my advanced reader copies, which that's what it's called, an ARC when you get a book before it's out, and I'll kind of sort of plot it out so that it aligns with my potential Book Huddle Club picks.
Mhm. Okay.
As mentioned, I am really, really conscious of making sure that I'm confronting any unconscious bias that I might have as a privileged white woman. And so I'm always, always really highly prioritizing voices and perspectives that are different from mine, too. The publishing industry is so whitewashed. It's so like I just noticed that they're like incredible books that deserve a lot more attention that are not written by white authors. And so I really, really do my best to elevate those voices as well. And so I have a reading schedule that I follow, and it's actually really, really fun because I'll map out everything that I'm reading for the month. And generally, it's the Book Huddle Club picks that I'll be picking a few months in advance, and then also just some other books that are on my radar,
Okay.
particularly in the fantasy genre. And I try to read for about 2 hours a day,
Okay.
but I'm okay breaking that up. So I'll read for generally about half an hour in the morning, half an hour midday, afternoon, and then an hour at the end of the day. I've always been a pretty fast reader, so that has worked well for me. And then audiobooks have been really, really amazing for me as well. And I always, always, always go on a daily morning walk. It's my happy place. It gets me off of my screen. And I always listen to audiobooks on the walks too. And while that is work, and I'm saying that with like air quotes, it doesn't feel like work. It's very, very restorative for me. So I really lean on that as well.
Yep. And how that's a perfect segue because I know so many people listening are probably have this idea of, oh, I love books too, or I love art, or I love this, or yes, I had a college degree in that. But then life took me into this job or this career or this life path. And you are someone now who's kind of gone back to that original passion and that original love, but probably in a way you never saw coming. I mean, I can't imagine you thought, oh, I'm going to have an online book club and I'm going to be on TikTok 5 times a day. I doubt you told
Never.
yourself that. So, what instigated that journey? I know you kind of told us the story around it, but did you have an idea that you wanted to get back to books as a job when that happened? Was it really serendipitous? How did that kind of transition happen? And then how did you know? Like, how did you feel even in your body when you said, oh, I need to do this? Like, I need to leave that other thing and I need to do this.
I never, ever, ever thought that I would be working in the industry of books.
Yeah.
Ever, ever. I thought with absolute confidence and certainty that I was going to be a brand strategist for the rest of my life. And I liked it. I really enjoyed it. It's been interesting because this journey of kind of reinventing myself and moving into a new career has required a lot of introspection. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I started therapy at around the same time that I posted my first TikTok video. I really, really don't. And my, if we really want to go deep,
Yes.
um, I have always had this kind of core belief that has not been really, really helpful, where my only value as a human being, it comes from making other people happy and from serving others. And the way that people think about me is more important than the way that I think about myself. And I don't know if this is a common thing for women. It seems like it is, but that's been my experience, and it's been my greatest gift, but also my greatest curse. I was an overachiever for as long as I could remember growing up. I would sign up for too many activities. I would beat myself up if I didn't get 100% on like a spelling test when I was a child. I would cry if I ever got scolded by a teacher. Everything in my life was focused on the people around me and what they thought of me. And I think that through therapy and through this journey, it's been really, really beautiful to realize that when I show up as me, like unfiltered me, not wearing makeup me, and just do what is in my heart instead of in my head, good things can happen.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that I really, really need to keep checking in with myself and taking what my heart is saying as seriously, if not more seriously, than what my brain is telling me. Because otherwise, it can be a really, really slippery slope for me where I burn out and I end up taking the joy out of what it is that I
Mhm.
like doing. So, like, as an example, one of the greatest challenges for me right now is because Book Huddle is growing really, really quickly, which is amazing. Like, I don't want it to seem like I'm ungrateful for it at all because I'm not. I'm like extremely grateful. But at times it can feel really, really loud. And I wonder if you feel like this too with like the incredible community that you have that's so much
Mhm.
bigger than mine. It can feel really, really loud. And one of the hardest things that I've had to learn is that not all opinions are equal. And it's my life, and I have to do what's right for me, even if that means having other people be unhappy about my decisions. And that's been the hardest part. With these retreats, they do sell out in minutes. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are disappointed who can't
Mhm.
come. And is there a world where I could be doing a retreat every single weekend? Yeah. Is there a world where I could build a team and have them host the retreats and I'm not there and build an empire that way? Yeah, but like, do I want to do that? No, I want to be at all the retreats. I want to, but I don't want a life on the road. And so those are just kind of that's like one small example of many of the kind of hiccups that I've been experiencing in this kind of new phase of life. Did I even answer your question? I can't even remember what the first question was before I got into that.
More than answer. Yeah, we kind of talked about how you knew the actually, and I want to go back and touch on everything you said, but also was there a moment that you knew like, okay, I need to go do that. Like I love this so much and I need to quit this job that's actually paying my bills. Like was that a clear moment or was it really kind of a long transition?
It was all the indicators were there for me that there was something special with Book Huddle that I needed to pursue. It took me a bit of a while to accept and to believe in myself with taking that leap. So let's see, timing wise, my first retreat was in October of 2023. And then I ended up telling Phil, who was like my main client, who that's how we got to know each other because I worked with Phil on his team and like helped him with his business, and we'd worked together for over a decade, and I loved it. He's like one of my best friends, and so it was really, really fun. And I think I let Phil know the day after I got back from the second retreat in January. Because at that point, I had done two retreats.
Yeah.
I had hosted over 80 people. We had sold out another four retreats, and the sales dates were going quicker and quicker. And I think it was when I had hit 50,000 followers on Instagram in about 3 months when I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, I have to try this. Like, I have to go for it.
Yeah. And you had proof of concept. I mean, that's huge. Like you kind of knew at that point, okay, two successful retreats. I think I have something here.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I've always been kind of a yes and person
Yeah.
with my career. So when I was working at the beginning of my career, doing internships and freelancing stuff, I was always doing minimum 3 jobs at once. Then, when I was working in corporations, I was always freelancing as well, mornings, evenings, and weekends. And then, when my freelancing went well, I quit that and started doing that full time. So, I always have like an extra project on the side
Yeah.
cooking just to experiment and see how it goes. And then that way, I it's not like I'm quitting cold turkey and have no idea what I'm going to do next. Usually I have at least 6 months to a year of income with that side project, so I can know what I can expect and make sure I'm not making a detrimental decision.
Right. Which is such a good point too, when we talk about, you kind of said the word viral, and, you put up that retreat thing and it sold out quickly. And also, there's years of experience behind all of that, right? Like you said, you were just saying you were intentional about it from the beginning of, will this work? Let me test it out and let me try this. And I know most of you listening to this aren't at a place that you want to go viral. I think it's always important, though, to point out when people say that, that alone is not an indicator of success. People go viral all the time and nothing happens. They just happen to go viral. You had the thought process and the foresight to say, all right, I can piggyback on that. That means there are some people interested, but here are the exact steps I'm going to take to see if that's true, to see if that really will go. And let me get some email lists and let me get a landing page. So many people who ask me, how can I start online? Or, I was talking to a nutritionist recently who said, I think I want to take things online. And they think immediately, I need 100,000 on Instagram. I need to go straight there. And I say, no, you just need to collect some email addresses.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing you need to do, is you just need to have maybe a one-page website and collect email addresses from all your current clients and anyone who might be interested. And you just start sending out newsletters. And I think that's such an important distinction if anyone is listening and wondering, what if I kind of went online? Or what if I just wanted a few more hours in the week that I'm not seeing people one-on-one? What would that look like? And that's my advice. You start small, you do the research, you find out what your clients want, collect email addresses, and you go from there.
Yeah, I could not agree more with you. People get distracted by the smoke and mirrors of virality, and going viral does have its usefulness. Like, it can lead to a lot more new subscribers, a lot more like email subscribers and things like that. I think I had one TikTok video that led to an additional 15,000 followers that I will forever be grateful for. It was fantastic, but it's not the most important thing. Your email list is the most important thing. Phil actually used to always say that social media is like buying a house on rented land, and I think that's just the most like beautiful metaphor for the fickle nature of social media. And I think I was at a point where I had about 20,000 on my email. I had done 2 retreats. I had about 100 people in my Patreon. And I just thought, okay, there are enough levers here that I can pull with and experiment with to figure out how to make this work. And you're absolutely right. I had a front row seat to people who were way better at growing online than I am, like you and a bunch of other clients in other industries. And I really feel that my experience guiding others and helping others find success and discovering what works and what doesn't was like a 10-year slow cooker journey that I could then funnel like immediately into my own venture.
Yeah. And I love you've done it your own way. I mean, and I go to your page all the time, not only for book recommendations, that's a big part, but also really to think, okay, how is Lauren posting this? How is she speaking to this? Because you are so obviously you in your content.
Really?
And yes.
That means so much.
And it's such a unique voice. And it's truly a place I can go and my nervous system says, oh, okay, I'm just going to hang out with my friend Lauren here on her account. That's how it feels.
That is the biggest compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Much.
I love it so much. And I think going back, because we could do a whole podcast episode on people pleasing, but are you the firstborn or the oldest daughter?
I am.
Okay. Yes. Welcome to the club.
Oh, you are as well.
Oh, yes. I have a whole podcast episode on being a recovering people pleaser if anyone needs to listen to it. Yeah. My whole life I remember one of my first times in therapy, she said, okay, well, what would make you happy? And I said, well, if everybody else is. She's like, no, but what makes you happy? I said, well, just if everyone else is, then I am. Like, she just looked at me and I didn't understand the question. I didn't understand at all how to separate. I'm like, the only thing that makes me happy is if everyone else around me is, because that means they're secure and that I'm doing a good job.
Right.
And So yes, unpacking that is such a huge thing. And I think it is really common with women, especially, and there is research actually around the oldest daughter, for whatever reason, carrying a big part of that burden. That's why I always ask. And I do think online makes it harder because we have hundreds of thousands of eyeballs on us. And somebody, the way I look at it, especially right now in the world, is a lot of us feel helpless with what is going on in the world. And that might mean in the world in general, it might mean to our neighbors, to our kids. Like, it just feels like a helpless time in some ways. And when you feel helpless, it's easy to take out, like, that steam will boil over a little, the water will boil over, and you'll just get upset about a post you see, and that person throws up a comment. And it's really hard to read that. I mean, I'm really lucky. I think you are too. We have very positive communities. We try to really form positive communities, like you said. But I know I'm getting the email, I'm getting the DM sometimes that's very feels very personal, and I just try to remember, one, okay, this is about something else. I think for that person, like, I'm the scapegoat, and that's okay. Like, either it's that, but I can't let it get past thick. I don't know how to have thick skin. Actually, it's not even in my vernacular to have thick
Yeah.
skin. I have, like, probably the thinnest skin of anyone. But you have to remember that I'm like, okay, I just need to hope that's about something else other than me. Sometimes it is about me, and if it's really constructive criticism, great. I mean, I have gotten some that's very helpful and very constructive criticism. But it is for the most part hard. And I try to actually go back and remember what it was like when I had my in-person studios. Okay, what would this conversation have been like if it would have been in person? Like, how would that have been different? And how would I have reacted to that? And how can I separate myself? It's just online. It's almost impossible when people have instant access to your DMs and your emails. It is harder. It's a day by day thing for me to really wade through, what does this actually mean? So I'm not going to take it personal. Do I need to be reading it, or can a member of the team read it? Or do I need to come at it from a different place? What can I learn from it? And also, yeah, does this matter in the grand scheme of things? Or do I need to walk away? Like Brene Brown talks about, being down in the arena. If the person's not down in the arena with you, going through this journey, and they're just yelling from the stands, is that a voice I really need to listen to? Maybe not, but it's hard because I do listen to them all. So
I know it's very interesting to be the face of a brand that you pour your heart into. And it's very odd because people have a right to their opinions, and it's challenging, at least for me, to separate criticism and or snap judgment of the brand. I confuse it with criticism of myself. And those are two very, very different things. One of my best friends, when I got a particularly vicious string of comments, and just to clarify, like 99.9% are amazing. But of course, I'm only going to pay attention to the ones that take my attention are the ones that are brutal. And I remember my friend saying, like, if you're going to let things like this upset you from people that you're never going to see and never going to interact with again, like, you should stop now, because this is just going to keep happening. And she said, if I'm giving you feedback, someone who really, really knows you, then yeah, maybe you want to pay attention. Or if, like, your partner or your parents or someone who knows the full you gives feedback, then yes. But just because some random person on the internet has an opinion and makes a snap judgment doesn't mean that it should get the same weight as opinions from other people in your life.
Yep.
So that's been a tough lesson, but I do feel like I'm getting a stronger over time. And again, having those values is that's really my kind of my North Star, because as long as I'm posting in a way that is honorable in the way that I see it, and it brings me happiness, and makes me feel good, then that's really what matters first and foremost. And I'm saying this, like, aloud so that I also inside believe it too.
No, that's the way I am. Yes. And always, for me, a piece, because like we're almost going into like how do you nourish yourself in the midst of all the noise, right? I mean, I think that's what it comes down to, all the noise. What for us, it's on social media a lot because we're there for work, but for a lot of you listening, it might just be noise from relationships that are hard, or your jobs that are really busy, or from people that you think feel like you should be doing more or different. And it is really hard. It's hard. Like, how do you nourish yourself in the midst of that if you also then believe that taking care of yourself is selfish? I mean, there is a lot of work. You have to believe that you are worth working on yourself, that you can take time. I love what you said about morning walks, because I'm the same. Everyone listening knows that's my nourishing time. And then one thing I try, which is hard for me, but it does help, if I'm not as reactive to something, whether it's an email or a comment, if I just step back and take a minute, because I'm the kind of person I want to react right away, and not even mean. I just want to react. I want it off my plate. I'm like, let me take care of this, because otherwise it's going to fester. I'll just. But a lot of times, if I haven't just given myself that moment to step back, to say, okay, I'm going to take a breath. I'll come back at this when I'm a little less reactive. That's probably one of the best tools I have, at least when it comes to those work interactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a policy that maybe is a bit extreme, but I have a rule for my community. Some of them don't know it, but it's a rule that's in my head at least, that all opinions are welcomed as long as they're delivered respectfully, and as long as it's a safe place for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're disrespectful to me or to someone in my community, you get one warning. And if you don't listen to that warning, you're blocked. You don't have a place in my community. My house, my rules.
Yeah.
So it's like if someone came into my home, insulted me, I asked them not to politely, and they did it again, I'd be like, get out of here. So, so that's my policy, and I've had to do it like a handful of times. It's not like a huge thing, but I find that creating rules or having almost like mantras or structure helps me make sense when my emotions want to spike and take over.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And I will say I'm the same. This has happened a handful of times ever in my life online. And usually it's a private DM someone has decided to send me. So anyone listening, it's never come from you. But it is just a reality of life, especially, like I said, whether it's online or offline, it is a reality of life. And I think that's kind of a great analogy of, what would you let into your home? And then you can't always stop what happens outside of your home, but can you make your home kind of your safe place? Like, can it be your retreat? Can it be the place that you come to where your safe people are, where you can be nourished? I mean, we talk so much about even comparing our bodies to our homes. Like, how do you come back, take a breath, have some water, get some rest, so that then when you have to leave your house, because we inevitably do during the day or during the week, when you have to leave your house again, are you fortified for what matters to you, your values? Can you go out and then know, okay, that's outside of my home. It's still important. I have to deal with it, but that's not going to affect my values and who I am and what's important. I can always come back for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're going to wrap up with books, actually. So going back to books, because I will say, and I bet so many people listening, I mean, with what we were just talking about, I think so many of us use books to nourish ourselves. Like, I think books are that safe place to retreat back and say, I'm going to take a breath. And sometimes it's nonfiction and we want to learn and we want self-help. And a lot of times I find for me over the past year, it has been fiction and dragons and magic. And I want fantasy lands that don't make me think of real life whatsoever. So I promised you guys, I wanted to ask Lauren, okay, your top 5 books, but if you go to her Instagram, you'll know that's impossible, because you're going to get top 5 books of different genres, but it is really helpful. Like, you're the best at it, and you have a bunch of books from last year. If you don't even have to call these your top ones, but for anyone listening, if there's a few you want them to go out and find, what are they?
Oh boy. Okay. Fantasy only, or
anything.
Anything. Okay. My favorite duology of all time is called One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. It's the official name of the duology is the Shepherd King duology, so I would say that one for sure.
I haven't read that. I'm putting it on.
You haven't?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Right away.
Can I give a quick like
Yes.
synopsis? Okay. It's a gothic fantasy, and in this world, there are these things called providence cards. And basically, these cards hold magic. They're like a deck of cards, and each card has a power. So if you possess the card, if you own the card, you have a power. And a lot of people keep them secret. So people basically the main journey or conflict is someone's trying to find all the cards and destroy them. It's really great.
Oh, I'm excited.
Really great.
Okay.
Beautifully written.
Okay.
So, I love that one. My, um, another book that I really love is Babel by R.F. Kuang. Have you read that one?
No, but I have heard of it. Yes.
Okay, it's amazing. It's a standalone fantasy, and it's an alternate history at Oxford University, where there's this department that specializes in translation, and it's really cool because the magic system is all about connecting words from different languages to create a magical output. It's also just written really, really beautifully. The author is incredible. She's so prolific and so inspiring, and it's a really, really poignant and powerful story. So I would say that one's really great.
Okay.
In terms of audiobooks, so my all-time favorite audiobook, you know it's coming,
I do.
is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. He's the same author as The Martian, and Project Hail Mary is being adapted into a movie with Ryan Gosling. And it's just so amazing. I if you can listen to the audiobook, I would highly recommend it because the narrator is incredible. And it's one of those stories that's just this like love letter to friendship. And it wouldn't normally be something that I liked, but it just has such a big heart to the story, and it's so beautiful and amazing. So I love that
I
one.
I concur. When Lauren posted that she was listening to the audiobook, I wrote right away. I'm like, I read the book, and you guys, it's so good, and it's really different. Like, so don't, if you say, oh, I don't really like sci-fi or I don't like space, it's fascinating. It is a book that has stuck with me that I think back to actually quite a bit, amazingly enough. So yes,
Yeah,
I recommend it. Yeah.
absolutely. In terms of romance, I there's one romance. Oh, I wish I could do more than five, but I guess I'll just go to
You
my
can do however
Instagram.
many you want.
No, it's okay. So in terms of romance, there's this great book called "Is She Really Going Out with Him" by Sophie Cousins, and that one was so much fun. I love when protagonists are unexpected or uncommon ages in books, just because again, I think it's a great way to just like step into someone else's shoes for a bit. So this protagonist is a 38-year-old, I believe she's 38, a 38-year-old divorcee, and it follows her journey of going on dates and trying to find love as a divorcee. It's very sweet. It's laugh out loud funny. It's based in Bath, in England, so it's got all that kind of British charm to it. And basically, she's a journalist who pitches an idea at work where she will go on dates that her children set her up with and then write articles about it. So it's really, really lovely. I think it's fantastic.
Yep. It's on my to read list. It's
Oh my
on my
gosh.
waiting list from the library because
I
it's
think you will really, really enjoy that one.
good.
I definitely think so.
All right. I'm going to throw out a couple of mine for anyone.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Because we do, yeah, Lauren and I talk a lot about all the dragons and all the magic and stuff. But I will say a little known one is the Invisible Shade of Magic trilogy. And actually, they have a fourth one that just came out by V.E. Schwab. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually my favorite. And I've read ACOTAR and I've read Onyx Storm. I mean, I love all of those, but there's something about that writing. I don't know. I just adore her. So that is one of my favorites. And then, yes, one from the past year is Love Song for Ricky Wilde. That recommendation came straight from Lauren. It's beautiful. I
Loved
love
it.
And you'll just feel so good after. Like anyone who's followed me knows I don't do bad things. I don't do kids. There are things that my nervous system cannot take. But I love mystery, and this has just the right amount of mystery, but just, again, your nervous system will just thank you. I love it so much. And then do you read Leanne Moriarty?
I've read a few of them, like
Okay.
Big Little Lies, and I
Yes.
can't remember the other one I
Her
read.
newest one, I just finished. Sorry, guys, I'm actually looking in real time. and it's called Here One Moment. I loved it. I loved everything about it, and I was so sad when it ended. It again has just this little thread. It has a thread of mystery through it and like a little thread of mystical magic, but it's just a great character study. It's beautifully done.
Amazing.
Those are my 3 short recommendations.
Those are good ones. I still haven't read A Darker Shade of Magic.
Darker Shade. Thank you. I said Invisible, but it's because she wrote that other book.
Because there is. Yeah. Yes.
You're right. Darker Shade of Magic, guys, by V.E. Schwab. Darker Shade of Magic. I love them so much.
She's such an incredible writer. Like, so lyrical, so powerful. I've read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is one of my faves.
Me too. I love that book. Good. Oh, it's really good.
Stunning. Did you know she has a new book coming out?
No.
It's called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And I think it's out next month.
Okay.
I think. It's a sapphic vampire book.
Okay. Sign
yeah. No, it's cool. Anything she writes is going to be amazing. So
yes, I love her writing so much.
Yeah.
And one more I just have to say, because Lauren turned me onto this one too, The Tainted Cup.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. And the second one is out now, but I'm on the wait list for it. So I haven't read it. If you like Sherlock Holmes, but plus quirky characters, plus a little bit of magic, you might love The Tainted Cup. I mean, it was just a delight. Like, it was such a surprising delight when I read it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so unique and so palatable, though.
Yes.
Like, I find sometimes when genre bending or genre blurring happens, it can just be a lot to wrap your mind around. But I just think the characters were so strong in this one. Yeah. The world building was so interesting. And it also was just a really great mystery. Like, I did not guess the ending.
Oh, I didn't at all.
Yeah.
You just love the characters at the end. You want to wrap them up.
Absolutely.
Okay. That gives you guys plenty. Go take notes and go get those from your library or your local bookstore.
Yes.
They're also good. All right. Tell everyone where they can find you. Tell us about the membership, retreats. Where's the best place to find you and sign up for stuff?
Absolutely. So bookhuddle.com is my website. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, my new one has been launched, but I'm going to be posting a lot of like book articles and, reviews and things like that. And on my website, you can sign up for my mailing list. And then on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, it's Book Huddle. So BOOKHUDDLE. If you're on my mailing list or if you follow me on social media, that's where I will be updating about the retreats. And then I do have a virtual book club, as mentioned. It's so much fun. It's honestly the joy of my life. We do over 4 monthly book picks that are selected by yours truly. We do book giveaways where I work directly with publishers to give our featured books away to members. We have monthly huddles, so like live calls, but they're also all recorded. So you have access to over 90 book discussions that we've had since this started. And then you also get merch discounts, retreat coupons, and early access to all reading retreats. So it's really great. We have the most incredible community there. And if you're feeling lonely or you feel like you have no one to talk with about books, like the chatter is constant, and it's just the most like hilarious, lovely, and kind people all over the world. And it's just a really, really amazing community and an amazing place.
Yeah, I highly recommend you guys, because again, if you just knowing Lauren, but also looking at her community, I mean, they're just so supportive, so excited about books, where you can just let your opinion go. I mean, that's what we should be able to do. And yes, as mentioned, she's given us a coupon. You can sign up for, is that right? Sign up for the book club.
Yeah, for an annual membership.
Awesome. It's amazing. So I'll have all that below. And you're the best, and I adore you. And congratulations. I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm really, really appreciate you having me on.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us, and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavallant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Vallant and Instagram at Jessica S. Vallant.